Hi, I'm Heather from Here Booktubes, and today is the spoiler-filled vlog for The Knight and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. It's the first in a new duology by her, and it is a gothic romantasy. My credentials, if you are a Rachel Gillig fan, which I assume you are since you're here, is that One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns were my favorite books of 2024. Absolutely adored this duology, have such high expectations. This is one of my most anticipated books of the year, and I just cannot wait to read it, which is why I'm filming this the day before, so I don't have to film it on release day, so I can just start reading. Now, shameless plug for my channel, I'm going to be doing a read-along with live show discussions and a spoiler-filled vlog for this duology this fall, so if you are a fellow stan, I would love if you would stick around for that if you enjoy this video and my commentary. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing this with some friends. Very excited for it. Have basically wanted to reread this since I read it the first time. So to say that I am excited about The Knight and the Moth is a huge understatement. I just cannot wait. And it is like a holiday for me. I have already asked my husband to bring home supper tomorrow night so I don't have to cook. Today I plan on doing a bunch of cleaning and getting everything ready so I can basically do way less than usual tomorrow because I did way more than usual today to prepare for it. But my full plan is to read all of The Knight and the Moth on release day, and then I'll just have to suffer and wait for the next one. I do know that the second book is already written and just has to be edited extensively, etc., but we're not looking at like a 5-year wait or anything like that because the book is written. Thank God. I'm just really hyped for this one. My little ghost mug was gothic vibes. It's 9:15. I'm starting on this book much later than I hoped to. Sometimes when I have a good book, when my husband gets up at 5:30 for work, I roll over, open my eyes, and start reading. That didn't happen today. I slept in. I don't feel like I slept in. I slept terrible, so what was the point? I don't feel like I got any sleep. But nonetheless, it is after 9 o'clock in the morning. But I've yet to start this book. I have finished the first 50 pages, and here are my thoughts on the beginning of this book. I feel like the writing is not quite as smooth maybe as One Dark Window, but I think some of that is the world building with all of the religious and omen importance, and just there's a lot, I think, of info dumping here at the beginning that is maybe a little bit clunky. I also don't love, as I'm sure you all know, abusive religions, religious trauma, religion that is taking advantage of people, and it's pretty obvious that they're taking advantage of the diviners, right? Obviously, we're going to be moving on from that, and that's kind of the point of this book, but that is the thing here at the beginning. Something that I really like and am a little bit surprised by for whatever reason is how quickly we are interacting with the knight, Rory, and I like their banter. I think obviously he's probably right about the religion and the omens, and I like the sisterhood of the diviners. So knowing that the thing that sets us on this journey is the other diviners disappearing, it's a little bit difficult, but so far so good. I think One Dark Window is a little bit easier to fall into right at the beginning, but that's not an issue really, that's just an observation after the first 50 pages. Also, the fact that the diviners are drowning every time that they dream, and they also have all of this pain that happens when they're falling through the different scenes, and that the water makes them nauseous and vomit. Just the whole ordeal seems pretty awful and thankless. I find that interesting too. And the way that they have to swallow blood, like, I feel like usually when you have people swallowing blood in a book, you know, they're usually vampires or they're turning into a vampire or something like that, right? But you think about how difficult it would be to swallow blood as a human, and yeah, the whole thing is just kind of awful, and that's interesting. Another thing, I definitely thought she was blind with all the marketing in the book. Like, I thought for sure we saw that. I thought for sure that was said, but they're not. They just have veils over their eyes. That was a surprise to me. I 100% thought she was blind. Thought she only saw through like an other sight, not her eyeballs. 100 pages in, I have a few theories and a few thoughts. Number one, I loved the bat-like gargoyle. Gargoyle. He's hilarious. I've laughed out loud a couple of times. I think, and the way that he acts and the way that he talks and some of the things that he says are part of what had my theory going. So at this point, all 5 of the other diviners have disappeared. And I think that this happens every time. I don't think the diviners leave the abbey. I don't think they go on and live. I think at the end of their tenure, every time they disappear one by one, and then they just replace them. I first thought that the abbess killed them like a few chapters ago when they just kept talking and dreaming about what they're going to do after they leave here. I was like, I don't think that they leave. I don't think that there is an after for them. I don't think that they just get to do a normal life after this. And now I'm thinking it's not the abbess. It's just the way it's always been. The diviners do their service for 10 years. And the other thing is, because I was confused, I thought it was odd that all of their 10 years started at the same time, that they had the same period of service rather than being staggered a little bit. Like, you would think you'd have like an 8-year-old with a 17-year-old, you know, one that's new replacing the last one, but they're all the same age and they've all been there the same amount of time to the day. I don't think that's just because that's when their term is up. I think that's because when their term is up, they disappear or never heard from again. So that's my theory. 100 pages. Rory just snuck in the window as well after one disappeared. I definitely assume that the abbess is not a good person. But I also don't really think that she is the driving force behind everything. So I think Rory and Sybil are going to go on an adventure, and obviously I think the moth is very important based on everything, including the title of the book. And also I think the gargoyle is going to join them. Oh, and also, well, I'm finding it pretty easy to like stop reading and getting distracted. I'm definitely enjoying it and I'm not having a difficult time reading straight through or continuing. But I also right now don't have that hook in my gut that's like, we need to be reading, stop whatever you're doing and go back to reading right now because it's so good. Yeah, I don't have that yet. But I'm also not having a difficult time putting my phone down and reading the book. I knew the gargoyle was gonna catch them. I love it. I love the banter so much. Did he just try to smite me, Bartholomew? I just love it. I love it. You guys, it's so good. It's so good. So we just finished the altercation with the scribe. All of that was wild. And then Rory saying, I'm not one of your gods. I'm the one that's killing them. Amazing. I am so fascinated by this, by the turn of the religion aspect, which, as I already mentioned, you know, I don't love reading about religion in books, but this I think is the type of thing that does interest me with it. It's an interesting twist on the disillusionment, right? Finding out that what you believed in wasn't real or that you were being taken advantage of. And I think part of what also helps me like it is that at the beginning, when the diviners were still devout, if you will, they didn't like what they were doing, and also they rebelled in different ways, right? They would have one night stands, they would smoke, they would curse, they would drink, they would do things that were not pure or holy, and I like that for sure. I find this very interesting, especially the boy king's prophecy, the divination that she did for him, where all the omens were against him. So him being part of the crew with Rory that is trying to get all of the omens, that is very, very, very interesting. So it makes me think, that her interpretation of her vision, all of that was correct, but there's more than one meaning to things, right? And that is, yeah, I'm just very intrigued right now. Like I said, I love the banter. I love the little asides between the characters, but the world and the plot and the way that we're moving through things and learning different things, that's something that has like the little cogs, the little wheels in my brain turning, and like I like the connections that we're making and the hints that we're given and the way that things are moving right along. Also, obviously, I put on The Prophecy by Taylor Swift, listening to the Tortured Poets Department while reading. Highly recommend. The vibes are vibing. First of all, the love that the diviners have for each other is something that I really, really like. Also, just the commentary that we are getting right now about the disillusionment of the religion is so profound to me. And then on top of that, I just love the gargoyle so much. He is such a great comedic relief, and I think he really loves her. The moth is the abbess? Are you serious? The quotes in this book are so good. I am living for them. There's just so many deep, introspective. The quotes are good, just like they were in One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns. She has a gift. Everybody's here. I was going to sit in this chair and talk to you, but I guess not, huh? Yes, I see you too. All right, we'll have to talk in the bed since I don't want to disturb the cats. So we're on the 200-page mark. It says I'm 54% into the book. Absolutely loving it. Actually teared up a couple times. The quotes are just killing me. I love that Maud, the Lady Knight, is so much older than everyone else. I love the story of how she came to know Benji and Rory. That is literally a tractor going by. I really like her. I like the way that she talks to Sybil, even though she's still going by 6 right now. Like, I just think a middle-aged lady knight is such a great side character to have. I like that gayness is just an accepted part of this world, right? I've had a lot of bisexual activity, which is always a win. I'm loving it. What more do you want from me? I really like the side characters. I obviously love our main character. Very curious what the final twist and reveal is gonna be for this book. I don't know if like her eyes are stone or like what we're gonna see when she takes the veil off finally. I just don't know. I also think it's very clear that they're going to end up hopefully changing things so that the sprites get fed instead of killed. And I like that she just told the king that what he knows about the sprites could not be true, using his own quote back. I'm absolutely loving it. I'm having a wonderful time. I have the hook in my gut now, by the way. Like, I feel compelled to read it. I am really liking the way that the religious themes are being handled. I don't know if I already said that or not. I know at the beginning I was like, hey guys, I don't like this. I never like this. And that is true. But a lot of, for me, the disillusionment journey, a lot of that depends on how long and how fervently and how stubbornly our main character sticks to their beliefs. I don't like that for that to be very long, right? If we're in a abusive situation, I want to see us being smart when we are presented with new information and believe it and think about it and, not just stubbornly cling to that can't be true. And that's not what, you know, our main character is doing at all. And that's very important to me. And it also really matters to me that at least so far, it does seem like the people, the king and the knights who have disillusioned her and who have told her that things are not the way that she was taught, don't seem to be in it for themselves. Like as of right now, at least, I trust that they're being honest about their motivations. Because I never really like when it's like another evil person is the one that is telling you that you're being controlled by an evil person, you know? So anyways, so far, just really having a wonderful time. And long before the halfway mark, but certainly by the halfway mark, I'm, you know, very invested in this book. Also, I'm not even showing you guys half of my highlights. I feel like I'm highlighting so frequently in this book. And some of them are funny, some of them are sweet, some of them are poignant, some of them are deep. It's just such excellent writing. I just love her writing so much. And the romance is so good too. I love them. I knew it. The diviners go to the omens and they have their blood, and that's how they get the water. I knew it. I'm not surprised at all by this reveal. I just want y'all to know that the signs were there, and I read the signs and I knew it was coming. But also, it doesn't really seem like her 5 other diviners have been given to the omens yet. So I'm confused about that. I would understand if they were dead, if the omens had already eaten them. I'm confused. Maybe I'm about to see it again. Oh, I should have read another page. They're dead. He just ate one a week ago. Also, obviously, if she would let the gargoyle tell her the story that he's tried to tell her a few times, she would get some answers. The one with the tragic beginning and the desolate, interminable middle. It's all the answers she's seeking, guaranteed. But obviously right now she's grieving that 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are all gone, which makes me wonder what usually happens to number 6. King seems so young and foolish. I don't really know what's going to go here. Like if he's going to end up being the next, but he keeps saying like the most thoughtless, careless things, and he seems to value himself more than the others. Like I'm just not sure what we're gonna do with him. You know how he's always saying, I'll do anything you ask of me? I wonder if that is going to be something at the end. Oh, I'm also past page 300, so I guess I should give you an update. All right, so I'm at chapter 25, 79% through, and, you know, we have this ongoing theme, sure, of the sprites starving because people are not allowing them their food. And Maud was injured as, you know, she was killing the sprites, and I'm like waiting for something to happen with that because I don't think we're gonna have to wait for book 2 necessarily to have progress made with that. But then also I'm so scared of whatever the final twist and reveal is because I don't have book 2. 3 things. 1, the Chinese restaurant that I wanted for dinner is closed today. 2, Becca dropped Shelter or Scrappa on the day where I'm just supposed to be reading. And 3, I'm going outside with my kids. Maybe that was 3. Oh, also, I do not like that she swore knighthood. I know that Rory, like, told the king that she shouldn't be swearing herself away to him and stuff, and he didn't make her do, like, those vows, but I don't like that she swore knighthood at all. Maybe I'll change my mind, but as of right now, feels like a trap. Loomstone, only love, only heartbreak can weave the thread of all that came and all that is yet to come after they just finally got together. Oh, I'm scared. Alright, it's after dinner. Probably got Burger King since Chinese was closed. Very sad. But I did get a Dr. Pepper out of it, so there's that. Can I just tell you truly how nice it is to have a partner that is like, if you say it's a special day, right? It's the special day of my book being released. He's completely fine with, you know, buying me dinner, me doing nothing all day, just reading my book because I'm excited about it. It shouldn't be like a rare or uncommon thing, but I feel like it is. All right, so my Kindle says I'm on page 337, 87% in. It is the, what is it? The ceremony with the king for the weaving Hamlet. First, I'm so scared. First of all, like Benji, the king, is very obviously becoming like a bad guy, right? And I'm freaking out about it, freaking out. And then Rory, he just said about how the knighthood is not a yoke, I'm no one's drudge, and he's choosing her, and the king will be fine. He'll understand. And I'm just like, oh, I don't know. Also, like, I just know, like, the chapter title's name is Love and Heartbreak. I am so scared. And then also the weaver being like the clacky legs that you would hear in the dream in the dark and she'd be afraid of and run. That's crazy too. I'm having a great time, but I feel like I'm putting off finishing this book just a little bit. Nonetheless, I'm gonna finish it tonight. I'm not gonna let not wanting to see the end keep me from finishing it, but that is definitely how I'm feeling. I don't want it to be over. I don't want to have to wait for the sequel. I know I'm going to end in such a ridiculous, awful place that's gonna make me want the next book so badly, and I'm scared and I'm frightened. I'm already a burden to my parents. Oh, yeah, that's where I'm at. Like, I'm very scared of the king right now, which is interesting because I already said, like, I was happy that I didn't have to be scared of him or that he wasn't evil, and he's only 17, but, you know, a young, spoiled king is not exactly something to not be afraid of. Like, I kind of hope he doesn't turn completely evil, but I'm afraid he absolutely is. I'm scared. I want them to end together, and I don't think they are. I think that the relationship is going to end on a cliffhanger too. So yeah, I'm just scared to finish this final 13% or whatever. Okay, it says I have 37 minutes left in the book, so I'm going to finish it up. The gargoyle just said he knows everything and he knows it exceedingly well. I'm telling you. Okay. First of all, the omen, the weaver, not even having, oh my god, just wanting death, remembering, having the power to remember and not wanting to do any of the things and not eating her diviner. And then Bartholomew being the little boy, the first child, the first diviner. And then the sixth one, remember how he said, what happened to the sixes? They're the gargoyles, the ones that the most obedient one is her favorite one, and that's who she gives the chisel to. And those are who she turns into gargoyles. I cannot believe this. So does that mean that if Sybil stops taking the water, she'll turn into a gargoyle too? Because that's what happened to the weaver and to Bartholomew. Oh my god. I feel so bad for them. Also, the fact that they're all dead, not just sick, but dead when they become more and do the water and get the stone eyes. And the omens were dead and they obey her and she made them into gods. Just so much. No! Oh my god. And that's how it ends. I was right to be scared. In the acknowledgement, she talks about how she had COVID and brain fog that wouldn't go away afterwards, and she was afraid she wouldn't be able to write a third book well enough. All right, so obviously Benji turning on them was not a surprise. I was predicting that for quite a while. What gagged me about it was that the first thing he did was attack Rory, and then also the fact that he wants her to be his queen, that I was surprised by. And he completely turned his backs on the people that love him the most, which I had a suspicion about this, because right at the beginning it was talking about how the way that they call him Benji, like they weren't giving him his due respect. They've known him since he was a child, and he wasn't like a fearsome or respectful figure in Maud and Rory's minds, right? They were close to him, and he was never going to stop being the boy king if he wasn't beside them. Like that, I got the inclination of that towards the beginning, but I was not expecting him to want to make her his queen at all, just because he like never, there was never any indication of that, right? And it's not because he's in love with her or in lust with her or anything like that. It's all about the power, and the fact that he is doing exactly what the abbess did and making a god of himself is fascinating. I could not begin to figure out what direction book 2 is going to go, right? Obviously, we're going to have a happily ever after. Obviously, they're going to fix things, but like I couldn't begin to tell you the journey that goes into that. I really don't know. And he would do anything for her, including going and staying alive and taking care of the gargoyle Bartholomew. Oh my god. And I have to wait at least a year for book 2. Oh, that was everything that I wanted. It was everything that I wanted. 5 stars, obviously. And I'd say probably a favorite of the year too. I don't even know where to begin. I will say next week we're going to have a live show discussing the spoilers of this, so if you want to talk to other people who have read it, we're going to be doing that. Yeah, I think I'm going to go take a shower and think, and I'll come back to you. Hello. It is the next morning. You should see this vlog in just a couple of hours because I've already edited it. After my shower last night, I was like, maybe I should edit, see what I want to talk about based on the edit. And that was a really good call. I have a couple things that I noticed that I was like, I specifically want to mention. Number one, when I was talking about how I was happy that the people that were telling her that she was being taken advantage of by an evil system, right, that wasn't real, I was glad that they weren't evil. That remains true for Rory and Maud, right? I think it's important to note that the king did turn evil, but he wasn't evil the whole time. I don't feel like. I definitely feel like this was kind of a evolution we were seeing. While I think the seeds were there, right, at the beginning of the book, that he watered and grew into choosing this path and being willing to betray his closest friends and allies. He wasn't already evil. They weren't already serving a evil king. And also Rory and Maud were betrayed themselves, so they were completely in good faith with Sybil the entire time, right? And I think that that's important. It wasn't all of them conspiring against her, or Rory being sad at the end that he had betrayed her. You know, it wasn't anything like that, and I like that for that development. Also, I will just say that the abbess being a stillborn baby that gained, life through the spring bothered me a little bit. Not sure how I feel about that. But I continue to be shocked that every single person that came out of the spring was dead before they went in it. Also, a couple of things that really did surprise me was the weaver coming into her room not to eat her, but instead to see Bartholomew. And it also makes me think that all of the other gargoyles, all the other diviners, all of the other omens weren't necessarily evil on their own, right? Some of it especially with the omens, I think, but some of it was, again, kind of a choice, and they willingly leaned into their monstrosity, right, and what they felt was their due. But Sybil and the Weaver both, and to a certain extent Bartholomew, they either remembered more than they were told or found out more than they were told, and that was really the shift for them, right? The Weaver just makes me so sad. Oh, she just makes me so sad. She really does. And guys, I'm really scared that Sybil is gonna start turning to stone in book 2. I was watching my theories about that in the edit, and I'm like, I think maybe that's like my only prediction for book 2 other than happily ever after, everything's fixed. But then the other thing that really surprised me for some reason, even though it was kind of hinted at right at the beginning, the abbess didn't like the king, and she was like gloating when he got the 5 bad omens, the portents and stuff. But it surprised me that the abbess could control the dreams. I don't know why, especially because when Bartholomew did it, the dream was different. So it wasn't really about the knight at all, which was interesting, right? Because the pitch is she can't see his future. And that's another thing. I 100% thought that she was actually able to see like people's futures, not just symbols representing good or bad futures. Like with the marketing of the book, again, this is not a critique, this is just what I thought. I definitely thought that she was able to like see you with your daughter, you with your future husband, you know, you standing over a dead body. I don't know. Like I just definitely assumed that that was part of what she could do, but obviously it's not. But yeah, for some reason, when it was revealed that the abbess could control the dreams and could decide what they saw, that surprised me. And then Bartholomew showing her a completely different thing and her not getting it and me not getting it, none of us getting it maybe. I don't know, that just surprised me. I did think that it was a possibility that it was because they were doing it without the abbess, that the dream was different or they did something different in the process, right? But I just wasn't really expecting it to be controlled for whatever reason. I think because maybe the dreams were at the beginning of the book and like we didn't do anything with that then, and so I wasn't really expecting that to be a reveal right at the very end. And then the last thing that I knew I wanted to talk about is I think the pieces were here. You could have put the pieces together, but I did not. I was really surprised when it was revealed that the abbess was using the loomstone to get into the cottage, just like Rory did with the coin. I don't know why, but that shocked me. I was like, what? It also surprised me too that she then went and broke their necks. I don't know why. That's like not what I thought happened. But I wasn't really expecting it. And I think that was really cruel that she was taking them one by one, because why did she have to do that? She didn't have to. She could have broken the necks of all of them in the cottage, right? So the fact that she was disappearing them and leaving the others day by day to dread and anticipate another one of them going missing felt really cruel. We were talking about how I was glad at the beginning that they kind of rebelled while still being in their religious cult, if you will. I probably should have seen the signs, but the fact that the obedient one rebelled was why she decided that their term was over was kind of sad. It was kind of sad. I really had hoped that she would be reunited with the diviners. I thought it was a distinct possibility for a good portion of the book, and I was very sadly mistaken. So let me know what surprised you the most, what you enjoyed the most, and maybe even what you're hoping to see in book 2. I am very pleasantly surprised at how much I enjoyed the religious themes and how well that was done for me and what I would like to see. And the romance, I don't feel like I really gave it its due, but it was so good. It did feel a little bit like a B plot, which is fine with me if the other plots are good. But I did really enjoy it. But I do think Bartholomew was my favorite. I absolutely loved it. I can't wait to talk about this in the live show. And I definitely can't wait for book 2. Thanks so much for watching. Bye. Oh, also, why do you really feel like it was titled The Knight and the Moth? Is Sybil the moth? Is Sybil the knight? What is happening here? I feel like if the moth is the abbess and the knight is Rory, it doesn't make the most sense. Let me know your thoughts.